Hello and welcome to Sullivan's Farm. The cattle are out. I'm calling it. They're out now, one way or the other. They're not coming back in again. They're after 2 more nights in the Fodder rape, and it was wicked muck in and out to them. But you can kind of see them. We'll go over for a closer look in the distance there now. We'll go for a closer look in a minute and look at the damage that has been done and what's recovering since then. But fertiliser is on the way too. It stopped raining. The forecast is looking good. You can feel the air is a bit warmer, so all going well. We're moving into a different time of the year. We'll have a last look at the field. I'm saying last, I'm being optimistic. This is the last look at the field where the fodder rape was, and the cattle had to get a few bales of silage and a few cubes and bits and pieces like that there. The last while as well, even though the fodder rape was gone. Overall, I think it was fairly successful, the fodder rape, and we can kind of talk about it now that the season, the winter, is finished. I'm going to do the same again on this side. This is what we call the big field. There's about 7 acres in it, so not a big field anymore. I'm after dividing it into 4. We did half it this year in fodder rape. That field now is going to be reseeded with extra clover and all that good stuff, and then for the coming winter we'll do this side, so it's about the same size again. And what I'll try and do is get the rape seed in a bit earlier, so there's a bit of a better crop or more of a crop on it. And roughly you'd need about 2 bales per wainling out on it. So for me that'll be between 55 and 60 bales depending on how things go. But that's roughly the numbers. I'm happy with it overall. I think they gained extra weight from being out on it, and it gave space to the smaller ones inside in the shed, who also gained extra weight compared to their comrades, I should say, the year before. So overall, it's a bit messy, but it's working. It worked for me 2 years ago, worked for me this year, and I'm going to do the same again here as well. And this is one thing I do have to fix up though. I don't know, is it a combination of the cattle messing as they were walking in and out, or I hit it with the tractor and maybe a bale on the loader. But that bit of a stone wall needs to be fixed up again. But look, it's a kind of a nice job on a summer's day. We won't worry about it till then. Here is 4 seasons in one field, as we can see it here now. There are the cattle out again. Start on this side. This is where they grazed, maybe I suppose when they were in and out a couple of weeks ago before the fodder rape ran out. So the grass is coming back nicely on that. It's kind of in the middle here now where they were in and out a little bit, but again grass is coming back on it, and I thought they had more of it cut up. This slice of a paddock then is in a mess. This is where I gave them a bale the other evening when I should have put them back out onto the field where the fodder rape was. But I didn't, so it is fairly mucky. Now, it's not the end of the world. I'll throw down a bit of grass seed on it, roll it, and see what it looks like in a fortnight or 3 weeks time after that. But I suppose we let it dry up another bit first before we'll do any rolling or driving in around there on it. But as these things go, could have been worse. And again, look, I wish it didn't happen, but I'm always looking to see if I can learn something from it. A couple of years ago with 20 or 30 sheep, you could leave them out in all kinds of weather and there'd be no damage done. To have to manage 35 cattle on grass in this type of weather, messing with them in and out, is a different type of thing again. And the damage they do, it is obvious to everybody else, I'm sure, but I just hadn't seen it with my own eyes here on the ground. So it's a different type of management again. And I suppose if I was to ever go down the road of milking, and that's still half on the agenda, I just need to do more homework on it, the cubicle yard and its closeness or otherwise to the milking parlour at this time of year is something that I would have kind of overlooked the importance of it before, but I can see now that would be kind of vital for managing in this type of weather. Quick look at some of them as we're passing. They had the heads down straight away. Surprisingly enough, there wasn't a huge amount of running around and acting the aegis. So hopefully out now on that stat we'll drive on. We're setting up the reel there this morning. There's roughly 9 acres in this field, and I kind of divided into 9, even though it is a bit of messing. And I've yet to get a straight line with the white stakes and the wire. So if you have that OCD or anything like that, look away now. Just as we're passing, I'll give you a look at this. Is where the bit of pig slurry went about a month ago now, and hasn't got any fertilizer, and grass is absolutely flying. If we could swap, I'd have if you could swap, we'd have had the month of February in March and the month of March in February, but at least we got a good month in February, or for most of February anyway. Got that ground grazed, especially the wetter stuff out in the near knock, so grass is flying down there as well. And a kind of a nice phrase I heard on a podcast there during the week is, as soon as you graze it, it's growing back again. So I'm kind of encouraged by grazing earlier in the year as well, and I might try it again next year. We'll see. I moved the bales that were here into the first span of the shed there as well. Tractor's backed in there too, out of the way. It was kind of in the way there all along. And sure, look, it's nice to have it in out of the way now. That clears things up a bit. So we're ready for 5 more calves to come out here in the next few days. Now, being as organised and planning ahead as much as ever, I was just after putting straw under them yesterday, so I'm going to leave them there maybe till tomorrow, or maybe even Sunday morning, and move them over then to their new shed from there. But again, I was looking at the first span here and trying to set up pens there for them and moving these ones there and having the two beside each other and all. And then I just said no. What I did was just move the bales in here instead, and said to myself, why am I bringing extra work on myself moving calves around when they're doing just fine where they are? They're all picking the hay mad, they're eating the ration away fine, they're all drinking milk, there's plenty of straw under them. I bring hay in here, straw in here, and it's easy to manage them in here. Now, I have to climb over this barrier, but that's not the biggest job in the world. So I'm going to leave well enough alone. Need to put more straw and lime under them, all right, but sure, look, that's a daily job. As long as they're eating and feeding and sleeping and not getting sick and not getting scour, there's no point in moving them around. We leave well enough alone. That's a very, very long way of saying we leave well enough alone. This is my little feeding station or mixing station here. There's the barrels of water, feeder, a few buckets, and there's the little cubby hole that the cubes used to be in and now the milk powder is in. I might, maybe the next video, just go through the routine again to ask people if they could see any kind of way I could improve it. I've tried a few different ways and kind of what I'm at now, I don't know, is it easier or is it just a case I'm used to it now and I'm afraid to change it and try something else because my little head will get confused. Even the sight of them in the field and it not raining would give you a lift. And I'm glad I'm not horsing any of these around for much longer. I thought I'd have more of them to sell. I thought at one stage there I'd have 40 or 50 of them to sell, but I'd say, without counting them there now, there's probably about 20. It's been a long winter and I use more than I thought I was going to use, but look, at least I had them anyway, which is a good thing. So that's it for the video. Quick word on the haircut. It was herself at home gave me the haircut. She said another week or 10 days or maybe 2 weeks, it won't look as it'll look grand then, she said. In fairness, she has a lot to put up with. Anyway, mind yourselves, we'll talk to you soon. Good luck.